Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is SlinkE from Team Scallywag, and today we're going to be doing the second part of our Let's Build a Minigame. We're going to make the blue team's tower. So the blue team is going to be the good guys. What they're going to represent everything good in the world, and the other team's just going to be chaos. Not really, I absolutely have no idea if there's going to be any story behind the factions, probably not. But you'll see right there, I put down a little circle for the tower. I decided this tower originally, I was going to make it all out of brick. Or, not normal brick, but stone brick. This idea I later revoked because it just wouldn't look all that great. It looks a lot better with like 3 different types of block. Like, say, lapis, wood, and stone brick is what I end up using, and I use glowstone to light it, and that's kind of the theme of this team. This team uses stone, wood, lapis, and glowstone. The other team, I'll probably have them use obsidian, netherrack, or no, not netherrack, nether brick, and probably like the dark wood. But anyway, you'll see at the beginning I actually opened up with a perfect circle. The way you do that is actually really easy. You just choose an odd number, and, well, you put 1 down in the middle, right? That's the middle of your circle. And then you do an even number out on all 4 sides of that. And then you end every single line with 3 horizontally. And then you just kind of build 2 out on both sides, and then 1, or 2 out twice, and then 1. Depends on how big your circle is. You'll see me right here putting down highlights. Because originally I put down the wood and I was like, wow, that looks really good. And then I was like, you know what? I think it needs some more, it needs to be a little more intricate. It wasn't nearly interesting enough. It didn't look like I put in any effort, really. So I decided to put in some highlights. Stone brick seemed to fit the budget. Glowstone would have been a bit too garish. So now I put on the top level, I believe. That stone ring is the top of the building. And now I start putting in the floors, the beautiful wood floors. I don't really have a good reason for wood floor. I just thought the wood floor looked the best, so I ended up using it. And I hope you'll agree that it actually does look really good. Pausing there for a second, not sure what I was doing there. Probably checking to make sure that the recording didn't go on to sleep. Right here I'd like to introduce a rule to you that has helped me build pretty much everything I've ever built. I call it the rule of stairs. If your build doesn't look good, it's probably because you don't have enough stairs. If you put in just a bunch of stairs and half slabs, it'll pretty much make any room look fantastic. Like I'll see a lot of people post pictures on Reddit saying like, oh man, I can't build, but this is the best I could do. And their building would look absolutely fantastic if they just put in some of the smaller blocks. So, pro tip for the day. So, now we're doing the 3rd and final floor. This is probably where we're going to put the objective, right? Well, it's both going to be where your objective is and where the other team's objective is. I'll explain that a little bit later, but I'm putting on the lapis roof right now, which lapis I don't normally like as building material, or I used to not like it in the original texture pack, but in the John Smith pack, lapis is a beautiful building material. It's very sky blue. It's reminiscent of Stormwind from World of Warcraft. And I feel that makes a fantastic roof, even more so than like brick, which is what I had always used for, say, red roofs. But yeah, so I'm just building 1 up and 1 in every single time. And it comes to a nice peak at the top because I made the circle with an odd number. God, my throat's getting dry talking so much. So the problem is it becomes a square at the top, which I end up having to leave because there aren't any stairs. You can actually kind of circumvent the square look with the use of stairs, but I didn't because there's obviously no lapis stairs or half blocks. But you will see me right now putting down some more highlights because I felt that it should be uniform all the way up. I'm a huge fan of more intricate buildings, but I also really don't like to have uneven buildings. I'd like to have everything be even, obviously. So right there I'm putting in the doorway, just making it a little bit more pretty. Putting in the glowstone there to kind of light it up, and I think it looks really good through that half slab. And now I make the building even more intricate, and this I think really makes the building. Before it was pretty good, but with the half slabs I feel that's just a massive improvement. I actually take out some there because I don't think it needs them in the middle as well. I end up putting fence in that later. So there goes the spines. I really like doing this zipper effect on buildings, especially like fancy buildings, because it just looks so good and it's so easy to do. Whereas opposed to say stairs, if you want to do the zipper effect, the way I like to do it is to put one normal and one upside down, one normal, one upside down, and that just takes a while to do. But now that's all done, and you'll see that there's now a dispenser in the front. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put down a platform in the front, and this is going to be where you can have someone on your team man the turret, because people are going to try to get to the objective in your main tower, which is this, and then you're going to have two side towers, also with turrets, on the lanes. And they have to get objectives from all three of them to blow up your building. So I decided that you need some form of defense, so I put this little platform out here. It gives a nice area for people to run out when they spawn, and also it gives defense, so you can put your gunmen there and, you know, deter oncoming invaders. So I had to extend the land a little bit on both sides to make it look nice, but I think that it actually looks quite good now. So you'll see now I put in one dispenser. I tried one dispenser, I tested it out for a little bit. It just didn't seem to shoot all that well. Well, I mean, shot fine, but it only shot down the center of the lane. I want the person to be able to shoot all down the lane, and I figured I could do that with 3 dispensers. Now begins the arduous process that I was going to try to have all 3 of them shoot at once. This I eventually decided not to do, but it was an interesting endeavor. What I actually end up doing eventually, as you'll see pretty soon, or like right now I'm messing around with redstone trying to get them all to fire at once. What I end up doing in the end is I just use levers to fire each one individually, because it was buttons would have worked great, however they would have been too tall. And pressure plates, as you see there, are even better and even easier to fire off. However, it was too easy to fire off everything at once, and you don't want to use up all your fire charges immediately. So what I ended up using was levers, so you toggle on and off. It actually requires the person to stay there and concentrate on shooting people, and it just feels a lot better because you also have to aim where the person's going. I felt that was a pretty good system. You also see one block there on the right is out of place. I replaced that with stairs off screen later. There I am testing out the shooting. So now I decided to build the stairs. Originally I was going to build them in the back there. I decided against that, and I built them towards the doorway. This is the person like if a person's coming in, they have to kind of overextend into the building, into where your opponents are spawning. and, you know, try to try to kill them. So it gives the team a far better chance of defending. Right now, following the rule of stairs again, where I'm putting stairs under stairs, putting the floor back, opening up the sides so it's easier to walk through, and testing it a couple times. And now I have to destroy this floor, because after I did that I was like, oh, well, this recording isn't going to work out that well if if there's a floor right there. Floors don't make for good windows, unless they're glass. But it's not. So I began doing the stairway on the from the second to the third floor, and again with the rule of stairs. And this isn't actually quite right. So you'll see I redo pretty much the entire stairway. I want to have them enter from the sides, because the way it was before, you would have to get onto the other stairway and then like jump onto that stairway, and that just didn't feel like they would have designed a base that way. Instead, I make it so that there's an entrance and exit stairs on both sides, on the bottom and top of the stairs. So you, I guess technically 2 players could get on at time from both ways. You see right there, so I put in the exit stairs, or entrance stairs, whatever you want to call them. So you actually go kind of in a C shape. I close up the walls there because I didn't like the way they were open. And I finish up the floor. And that'll be the third floor. That'll be where your objective is, where you're trying to get all your levers, and where your opponent is trying to get levers from. So, one of the rules is obviously going to be you can't touch your opponent's levers, and you can't use your own lever. Like, you can't use the own levers in your bases, because then you could just open up all 3 of them, and it would be a race to see who can run to their bases the fastest. So the lapis blocks there are actually what I'm going to end up using. You put a lever on each one of those, and I'm building a little port right here, much like a plug, and I'm just going to have it go into an AND gate later, but right now I'm just going to leave it as is, because this is just the first part. We'll do redstone. It's probably be one of the last things we do on the map. You saw me test the button there to make sure it worked. I'm not sure if I actually did that yet. Did I? I believe I did. So the port's pretty much done. I think that what I'll have this do is blow up the opponent's base, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. So right there you see what we currently have. We're just going to put in a little bit more detail, and then we're done with the main building. You'll see me putting around fence. I think that gives it a little bit more shading, gives it a little bit more uniqueness. So I'm going around looking at it. Yeah, I like how that looks. I decided to put 2 lights in the front because, well, you know, it's the good guys. They obviously have everything pretty well lit. Except these end up being 1 too tall. I didn't really like the way they were, so I made them 1 shorter. And I thought that looked far better. So now from the back we're going to do the same thing. Not with the lights, but with the fence. And you'll see me mess around with some glowstone here. I was like, you know what? Why don't I just put some external lighting instead of those lamps? I didn't really like the way it looked, so I end up just leaving it as is. I bumped the camera there. So we end up with just that, and yeah, that'll be it for today's Let's Play. Yar, ye be having a mighty fine day. I'll talk to you guys later. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye.